Let's jump right in. Today, we're tackling a feature that fundamentally changes how developers and legal pros deal with the AI hallucination problem. We are looking at citations and responses for Claude.
Because look, every single time an AI answers a question, we all face the exact same anxiety, right? Did it just make that up? For high-stakes work, things like legal review or strict compliance, a simple "trust me" from an AI, that is completely unacceptable. You need absolute proof. And that's exactly where Claude's Citations feature comes in, literally pinning its claims to the exact sentence they originated from.
Okay, two environments. Let's compare claude.ai versus the API.
So this feature actually operates completely differently depending on where you are. On the claude.ai interface, if you toggle web search on, Claude fetches live pages. It gives you those familiar little bracketed inline links right after a claim, which is absolutely perfect for current public info. But over on the API, that's where you supply your own private documents, plain text, PDFs, whatever custom content blocks you have. You just pass in the flag Citations enabled true, and Claude hands you back beautifully structured JSON containing the exact cited text and its specific character positions.
Let's ground this with the paralegal example. Tracking maximum fines.
Picture this. You've got a paralegal who desperately needs to find data breach fine amounts across two completely separate private regulatory texts. Let's call them Regulation A and Regulation B. Once those documents are loaded in as plain text strings with citations enabled, the API output is just surgically precise. Claude tells us Regulation A's max fine is 20 million euros, and it points directly to document index 0, characters 142 through 205. Then for Regulation B's $10 million fine, it points right to document index 1, and let me tell you, that document index field, it's a total lifesaver. It completely removes the ambiguity and that tedious manual cross-referencing, telling you instantly which loaded file the claim came from.
Which brings us to character-level precision. This right here is the key stat.
The API output relies incredibly heavily on two specific fields, start char index and end char index. We are not just talking about a vague page number or a general section heading here. No, these are the exact, literal characters pinpointing the claim deep inside your source file. When you're doing compliance work, where misattribution can have massive legal consequences, having that character-level precision provides an ironclad, indisputable audit trail.
Now, before you start coding, there are some critical technical guardrails you absolutely have to keep in mind for your API implementation. First up is the strict all or none rule. If you're going to use citations, they have to be enabled on every single document block in a request, or none at all. There is no mixing and matching here. Second, you cannot use citations alongside structured outputs in the exact same request. Why? Because citations actually interleave specific citation blocks directly into the text output, which immediately breaks strict JSON schema enforcement. So you got to pick one per request.
Honestly, our key takeaway is perfectly captured right here. Citations turns Claude from a summarizer into an auditable research assistant. It's that simple. This feature adds a verifiable, bulletproof chain of custody to every single claim Claude makes. This literally eliminates that agonizing manual verification step in your downstream workflows. The work is already double-checked and perfectly mapped back to the source. But, it leaves us with a pretty provocative question. If your enterprise AI systems cannot mathematically prove exactly where they got their answers, can you really afford to trust them? To master this feature and dive into full worked examples, definitely head over to claudemaster.net. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.